Juice Williams spent some time this summer with fellow Chicago native Donovan McNabb, and he said, first of all, McNabb said, smile and have some fun while you're playing quarterback. And he also said the key is to become a passer, not just a thrower. You can't just use the strength in the arm. You have to be able to make those touch passes and make every throw. Now, Mike Loxley, offensive coordinator for Illinois, said, we've been telling him that since he's been on campus, but I guess it means something that Donovan McNabb told him.
Now, Ron Johnson.
Beth, thanks a lot. Well, Coach Stringer, you got a big effort from Kia Vaughn in that first half. Your guards really came through in the second half. How'd you feel about the balance tonight?
Yeah, interesting doesn't begin to describe what this trip has been like. And since we've been here, people have asked, why would a sports crew come to Iraq? And the answer for us is simple. We're here to cover sports.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Last year, C.J. Bechet threw 19 interceptions. Now, Mick McCall, in his first year here at Northwestern, is the offensive coordinator, also works with the quarterbacks. He says the point of emphasis is footwork for C.J. He says with all athletes, it starts from your feet up. It's not necessarily your head or your arm for C.J. throwing those interceptions. The key is the footwork. I talked to C.J. yesterday. He said, yeah, coaches have told me that in the past. The only difference is Coach McCall has actually given me drills to help me work on it. So far this year, though, just one interception for C.J., so the drill's obviously working, guys.
Ron Johnson is standing by with an update on the Twins. Hi, Ron.
We'll have an update shortly on Dennis Reyes and his situation. But first, we're going to talk about more of those offensive numbers that you were talking about, Marnie, from Milwaukee. And I asked Ron Gardenhire about that. He said it wasn't so much that they brought the bats, it was the quality of the at-bats they were getting. He said, guys, work some walks. And if you remember the home run tour he hit, that was with 2 outs, and it was all set up by a couple of walks with 2 outs. So it's the quality of the approach at the plate that the Twins took that really helped them at the plate against Milwaukee. And Gardy said, hey, no matter how beat up you think the Texas Rangers are, this is a ball club that can score some runs. We saw that yesterday when Texas scored 14 runs. That's the second time this season they posted 14 on the board, so the Twins will have to bring the bats and have those good quality at bats here again. Now, as far as the pitching, that was the problem in Sunday's game in Milwaukee with Dennis Reyes. He had the injury coming out of the bullpen. Now, I talked to both Ron Gardenhire and Dennis Reyes. First for Reyes, he was very stand-up with reporters. He said, look, I've got to take that on me. That is my fault. I didn't make it clear that I was hurt and I could not go. He said, I was out there trying to be a hero, so it's my fault for not saying I shouldn't be out there. He did say he told the trainers and Rick Anderson that he was sore, but Ron Gardenhire said he never said how sore he was and whether or not he was truly hurt and couldn't come out of the bullpen and be an effective pitcher on the mound. And Gardy said that's where the difference is. He says some guys don't know the difference between being sore and being hurt and not being able to play. And I said, well, where do you have to draw the line between a guy trying to go out there and fight for his team or a guy who's just going to hurt his team because he's too injured? He said that's the age-old question in baseball. He says there's a lot of guys who don't want to play through any kind of injuries and do whatever it takes to stay out of the lineup or stay out of the rotation. He said so the guys who do want to fight for your team, you have to admire those guys. But he said at the same time, if there's a small problem and a small injury, let's keep it small, take care of it now, and don't let it develop in anything bigger, which is the potential that could happen with Dennis Reyes. Now, this afternoon, he had the MRI. The results should be available tomorrow. And Dennis said, hey, right now I'm pretty scared because he said it's a pain that I've never felt before. So that bullpen could be a little short, although they do have Glenn Perkins in there, a left-hander. So right now, the situation, Dennis Reyes with an MRI, we'll find out more tomorrow. The key, though, to keeping that bullpen rested, of course, a good start by Carlos Silva tonight, guys.
Check in right now with Ron Johnson.
Well, Beth, I guess there's a reason why Fran won more than 60% of his games, because he said exactly what Bill Finley just told me back in the hallway. He says, we will double Kia Vaughn some more. He says the key, though, is staying out of foul trouble. He also said they are very fortunate to be in this game right now.
Roger, it's Renaissance celebration here at Memorial Stadium, celebrating some of the greatest players ever to play on this field. And in honor of that, they're going to have them throwback uniforms. They're going to start that with the helmet. You see from the front there the difference from this helmet and the current helmet with the Illinois across the front. This one just has the numbers there. Also new jerseys. I'm going to show you the jersey, but I'll throw the helmet on first. And my head's a little too big, which no jokes for that, but that I can't handle the jersey and show you the helmet as well. But here's the jersey. This is what they wore back in 1963 when Dick Butkus was playing here in Champaign. We see the commemorative patch there, September 6, 2008. That's today. So the guys will be wearing these commemorative jerseys and this helmet, but hopefully they'll be able to get it on better than me, guys.
Okay, Ron, you don't need a face mask.
To close out the first half. Let's get down to Ron with Tim Brewster. Ron?
All right, thanks a lot, Wayne. Well, Coach, first of all, great drive to start the ball game. What happened to the momentum from that drive?
Well, we just didn't finish the first half the way we began it, and we made it, we got a turnover, we got some excitement there, but the block punt was disappointing without question.
Where was the breakdown?
Well, we'll have to talk about it, but we think it was off the right wing. We'll get it looked at halftime.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Dick Bramer calling a dozen innings of baseball last night. Carmona and Santana the matchup tonight on the Hill. We'll see if we can get out of here in 9 innings. Game 2 of 2 between Cleveland and Minnesota. Welcome inside the Metrodome. Thanks for joining us for Quest Twins Live. A couple of Rons along the way. Ron Coomer and I'm Ron Johnson. Santana on the Hill tonight. Coom will talk about him a little later on. But Carlos Silva, if you look at his effort last night, gave up back-to-back base hits in the inning, then the big blast to Victor Martinez. Really the only rough patch for him. They do get the loss, but still some positives from Carlos Silva once again.
Well, the one thing Carlos did last night is he attacked the strike zone, which is something they've wanted him to do. The other great thing that he did, everybody's been talking about him losing his sinker last year and going into spring training. They were so concerned about that. His ball was moving down. His sinker was moving down. The other thing that was really impressive was his changeup or split finger pitch was really getting great downward movement. The one thing you got to tip your hat to is the Cleveland Indians. They did a great job at fouling a bunch of pitches off Ron and pushing him deep into counts. That's why his pitch count got up. So that's where the Cleveland Indians, you got to tip your hat. But he had a great outing, Carlos Silva.
Yeah, so there were some positives, but really in the end they do get the loss. So some frustrated Twins in the clubhouse last night.
Like the bullpen did not try to beat him.
So now the Twins need to find a way to break out of this mini slump they have going on right now. And if you remember, Coom, back in the mid-'90s when the Marauders from the University of Marion Bismarck, when they needed to get out of a slump, they would
Marauders?
Yeah, the Marauders. They would call on somebody named Marnie Gellner, who right now is going to tell us how the Twins can get out of this little slump.
Oh, you dug to the
Let's
way
hear
back.
this, Marnie. I want to hear this, yeah.
Well, consolation as the Twins look to wrap up 2 games tonight against the Indians, guys.
Not only do they have a chance to win, Coom, but they have a chance to see something special every time Santana steps on the hill.
The one thing about Johan Santana, when we were in Chicago, I got to talk to Jimmy Thome about Johan Santana after the outing. Jim Thome said he is a handful. So you just look and you go, here's one of the best hitters in the game, one of the best power hitters in the game, and Johan Santana just makes left-handed hitters look terrible. He does it without trying to be the intimidator with the up and in fastball, which most strikeout pitchers do, Ron.
Yeah, so what else can you really say about Johan Santana? We'll find out what Dick and Bert can say about him, because every 5 days you guys have to try to create something else about how great this guy is.
Well, let's talk about his strikeouts today.
To having Johan on the mound because they know that he's going to keep them in the ball game.
And hopefully just 9 innings tonight, too, to call him.
Is that a call?
All right, there we go. That's Dick Bramer and Bert.
Whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, whatever it takes to win. They'll take it. 12 innings, 9 innings, whatever. We'll see. I'm sure we won't get rained out.
That's
so we're
right.
guaranteed at least 9 innings.
We got that going for us.
Yeah, we got plenty more to talk about those. We set it up for maybe a 9-inning game or another 12-inning game. That's your quest. Coming up, a perfect 10 for Torrey. We'll explain to you what that means. And really, the only reason why I showed up to work today, Coom's Corner. It's my first time this year. Anthony, of course, said I wasn't invited, but he's not even here, so we don't care about what he has to say. And it's all or nothing for the Indians. Marnie Gellner will be back to explain what that means. That's your quest coming up. Also, Mauer power as the Twins catcher continues to climb AL batting race. Hey, I think we've heard that once or twice before from Joe Mauer. We'll have more on that later on Quest Twins Live.
Scooter Jordan laces a liner in the right, and it gets by the right fielder, and Scooter can run. Heath Keel couldn't get it. It goes all the way to the ball. Will Rogers send him? He does. Lamar sends him. Scooter coming home to throw to the plate, and Scooter Jordan is out. Scooter Jordan thrown out at home, trying to score on the error out in right field, and we stay tied at 4 apiece. The drama sends us to the 9th here in St. Paul. 2-run lead for the Saints, 2 outs, a man on second. Here's the payoff pitch from Pierce. Swing and a miss. Tony Pierce comes in and locks down the door, and the Saints beat Fort Worth 9-7.
Begging that he maybe hits one hopper back to Charlie. You can go home to first and get 2.
The 0-1.
There it is.
Goes right back to Rudd, who will come home just like you called. Dana Sullivan down the first. A 1-2-3 double play.
That's the type that's going to hit you that ball. And boy, almost on cue, Ron Johnson. I know you think that I'm psyched. It was a perfect. Try to come out and try to keep it going here tonight.
This could be 2. Bennett
spins to Pretty, over to first to Brown for the double play. Justin Lord gets out of the jam thanks to the twin kick.